Next, let's learn part 2. This involves joining yarn on the upper side of part 1. Crochet counterclockwise around the circle. Watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, learn round 1 and round 2. The crocheting method for these two rounds is similar to edging the upper side of section 1. Place the connected motifs with the right side facing up. Join yarn at the corresponding position on any motif. Crochet the upper edging. No new stitches or methods are encountered. Follow the previous demonstration. Refer to the chart to complete these two rounds. Now round 1 and round 2 are explained. My sample swatch has completed the first two rounds. Now let's crochet round 3. Take out the corresponding yarn. Join yarn on the beginning chain of the previous round. Then make one beginning chain. Work one single crochet. Then work 2 single crochets to the left. Six chains. Then skip 3 stitches. Work 5 single crochets in sequence. Six chains. This round follows the pattern of skipping 3 stitches. Working 5 single crochets, 6 chains, repeating this pattern. Continue until the last pattern group is completed. Now my sample swatch has reached the corresponding position. Then skip 3 stitches. Work 2 single crochets. Complete with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. The third round is complete. After completing the third round, you'll need this yarn later. Don't cut the yarn yet. Place a stitch marker on the loop for later use. Now work the fourth round. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn to the first single crochet of the previous round. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Then work 2 double crochets to the left. Next, pull the chain stitch from the previous row forward. Work behind the chain stitch. In the 3 stitches between the 2 single crochets on the left side of the previous row, work 1 treble crochet in each. Continue working double crochets corresponding to the single crochets on the left side. After completing, on the left side of the previous row, in the 3 stitches between the 2 single crochets, work 1 treble crochet in each. Work behind the chain stitch as well. This round continues downward on the single crochet stitches. Work double crochets evenly. In the 3 stitches between the single crochets, work 1 treble crochet in each. Continue this pattern to complete the round. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Next, join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. At this point the 4th round is complete. After completing the 4th round, no need to break the yarn. Place a stitch marker on the loop for later use. Now work the 5th round. Insert the hook into the slip stitch spot of the previous round. Pull through the reserved yarn loop from the 3rd round. Use this yarn to crochet. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet. Six chains. Then pick up the left side chain. And the middle treble crochet stitch of 3 treble crochets. Work 1 single crochet. Six chains. Continue to pick up the middle double crochet stitch of 5 double crochets on the left side. Work 1 single crochet. Six chains. After completing, pick up the left side chain and the middle treble crochet stitch of 3 treble crochets. Work 1 single crochet. Six chains. This round continues by picking up the middle treble crochet stitch of 3 treble crochets and the middle double crochet stitch of 5 double crochets. Work 1 single crochet. Work 6 chains between each single crochet. Note: when picking up treble crochet stitches, weave the front chains into stitches. Follow the pattern chart to complete this round. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Then slip stitch into the first single crochet. At this point the 5th round is complete. After completing, don't cut the yarn. Place a stitch marker for later use. Next, work the 6th round. Insert the hook into the first single crochet stitch of the previous round. Draw the reserved yarn loop from the 4th round through. Start with 3 beginning chains. Then between the 2 single crochets on the left side. Work 3 treble crochets into the stitches of the 4th round. Work behind the chain stitches. After completing, pick up the left single crochet stitch and work 1 double crochet. Next, work between 2 single crochets. Work treble crochets correspondingly into the stitches of the 4th round, into the single crochet stitches of the previous round. Work double crochets correspondingly. Remember to work behind the chain stitches. Follow this pattern and refer to the chart. Complete this round. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. Now the 6th round is complete. Don't cut the yarn after completing. Place one stitch marker for later use. The crocheting method for the 7th round to the 8th round is identical to the 3rd round to the 4th round. No new stitches or techniques are used. Refer to the chart to complete these 2 rounds. Pay attention to use the corresponding yarn for crocheting. In the 7th round, work into the middle treble crochet among 3 treble crochets. When working single crochets, weave the front chain stitch into the stitches. Don't cut the yarn after completing the 7th round. Leave a loop for later use. Cut the corresponding yarn tail. Weave in ends. The 7th and 8th rounds are now explained. Now my sample has completed the 8th round. Next we'll crochet the 9th round. Draw the remaining loop through the beginning chain. Make one beginning chain. Then work one single crochet. Continue to the left. Work single crochets into each stitch in sequence. Pay attention when crocheting in the treble crochet between 3 treble crochets. Weave the front chain into the stitches. Follow this pattern. Complete this round. Now my sample has reached the corresponding position. Next join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. The 9th round is now complete. Since we need to switch yarns for the next part, break the yarn. Weave in ends. Now let's work on the 10th round. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn in the first single crochet of the previous round. Make 3 chains as the turning chain for the double crochet. Then work 1 chain. Skip 1 stitch and work 1 double crochet. Four chains. Continue skipping 4 stitches. Work 1 double crochet. 4 chains. Then skip 4 stitches and work 1 double crochet. 1 chain. Now consider from the first double crochet to the last chain as one pattern group. This round is repeating this pattern group. Keep repeating until the last pattern group is finished. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Then skip 1 stitch. Work 1 double crochet, 4 chains. Continue skipping 4 stitches. Work 1 double crochet, 4 chains. Finally join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. At this point round 10 is completed. Next let's learn round 11. Make 1 beginning chain. Then work 1 single crochet, 3 chains. Next work 1 single crochet on the left side double crochet stitch. 5 chains. Continue working 1 single crochet on the left side double crochet stitch. 5 chains. Now from the first single crochet to the last chain. This round repeats this pattern. Keep going until the round is completed. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Next join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. At this point round 11 is completed. Next work round 12. First work a slip stitch in the left chain space. Pull tight. Then make 3 chains as beginning chain. Work 4 double crochets in the chain space below. After completing, work 1 single crochet in the left chain space. 5 chains. Continue working 1 single crochet in the left chain space. Next work 5 double crochets in the left 3 chain space. This round continues by working 1 single crochet in each 5 chain space. Work 1 single crochet. Work 5 double crochets in each 3 chain space. Work 5 chains between every 2 single crochets. Follow this pattern to complete this round. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Next join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. At this point round 12 is completed. Now work round 13. Make 1 beginning chain. Next work 1 single crochet. 1 ch3 picket. Continue working 2 single crochets to the left. One picket stitch. Two single crochets. One picket stitch. After completion work 4 single crochets in the left chain space. Now work from the first single crochet to the last single crochet. Consider this as a group pattern. This round is repeating this group pattern. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Next, slip stitch in the first single crochet. At this point, round 13 is completed. After completion, fasten off. No need to secure with a chain stitch. Leave a long yarn tail and cut off. Pull out the needle from the second stitch, behind the slip stitch on the left side. Hook the yarn from the front. Then insert into the space between two strands of the slip stitch. Draw the yarn through. After completion, pick up any two strands behind and crochet a chain stitch to secure. Then weave in the ends. Fasten off is completed. Part 2 is explained. Next, learn Part 3. Crochet counterclockwise around the bottom of Part 1. The method is similar to edging below Section 1. Rotate the work piece. Part 1 on top. Part 2 at the bottom. Crochet Part 3. No new stitch techniques or methods encountered. Follow the previous demonstration. Refer to the chart to complete Part 3. Part 3 is now explained. Section 2 is completed. Next, learn sewing together. Sew the last round of the edging on the top side of Section 1. To the final round of Part 3 in Section 2. For convenient sewing, first mark the sewing position with stitch markers, then sew together. Fold Section 2 in half. Place the beginning chain position at the side seam. Make the quantity of motifs 3 consistent on front and back. The front motifs are the front body. The back motifs are the back body. Ensure symmetry between front and back motifs. The central position of both front and back bodies is motif 3. Next, take Section 1. Fold it in half as well. Place the beginning chain position at the side seam. Use any motif 2 as the central motif for the front body. Place a stitch marker at the center position of this motif 2 to mark it. For reference later, align it vertically with motif 3 at the center of section 2's front body. The symmetrical motif 1 at the back. Align it vertically with motif 3 at the center of the back body. Once the position is confirmed, first secure the center position. Then mark both ends with stitch markers. Finally, evenly place stitch markers in the middle. Sew together section by section. Turn the fabric to the right side. Take a long yarn tail of corresponding color. Thread the needle. Note: keep the sewing thread length moderate, about 50 cm. Too long makes sewing inconvenient. If it runs out later, just join yarn to continue sewing. Start from the side position. Sew towards the center direction. Through the back loop of the single crochet on the bottom fabric piece. Which is the strand farther from you? Come out. At this point, the yarn tail stays on the wrong side. Insert into the back loop of the corresponding single crochet on the top fabric piece. Exit through the back loop of the stitch to the left. Then pull the yarn through. Use the same method to pick up the bottom fabric piece. Pull the yarn through. Tighten both yarn tails. Note: don't pull the sewing thread too tight. Don't make it too loose either. At this point, only the half stitches of the fabric pieces remain visible on the surface. The sewing thread is invisible. Next, insert into the half stitch, where you exited on the top fabric piece. Exit through the back loop of the stitch to the left. Then pull the yarn through. Pick up the bottom fabric piece using the same method. Pull out. Note: the insertion point is where you exited the previous seam. Tighten the sewing thread after sewing it up. if you're sewing into the beginning chain position as you go down. Sew from the insertion point of the topmost chain stitch. If you make a mistake in the middle, or crochet the wrong number of stitches, causing them not to correspond, you can make appropriate adjustments in the final section. Use this method to adjust. Just ensure it's roughly even and neat. Repeat this process to complete sewing this round. Weave in the ends when done. That's it for the sewing instructions. The yoke section is now complete. The section is done. Next we'll learn about the body. Divide it into section 1, section 2 and section 3. First crochet sections 1 through 3 separately. Then sew them together. Let's start with section 1, which consists of motifs, motif joining and edging. First crochet motif 4 and join it. After completion, on the joined motifs, work counterclockwise around the rounds for edging. First crochet the first complete motif 4. The crocheting method for motif 4 is similar to motif 3, only the stitch quantity in the last 2 rounds differs. No new stitches or techniques encountered. Please refer to the chart for crocheting. Pay attention not to make mistakes. After completing the first full motif 4, the remaining motif 4s need to be worked and joined simultaneously. The joining method has been explained previously. Use the same method for joining. After joining, attach yarn above the motifs to crochet the edging. No new stitches or techniques encountered. Please refer to the chart for crocheting. Pay attention that the bottom side doesn't need edging. Complete it on your own. At this point section 1 is done. Next, we'll learn section 2, which uses the same crocheting method as the yoke section. Only the number of motifs differs. Still work motif 1 and motif 2 and join them. After completion, on the top and bottom sides of the joined motifs, add the edging. Please refer to the chart. Complete section 2 on your own. At this point section 2 is done. Now let's move on to section 3. Divide into 3 sections. First work the first section, then work the second section on top of the first section. After completion, work the third section on the bottom side. Let's start with the first section. Made up of motif 4, connected one by one. Only the first motif 4 is a complete motif 4. The rest of motif 4 need to be worked and joined simultaneously. Same crocheting method as connecting motifs in section 1. Please refer to the chart and work accordingly. That's all for the first section. Next let's learn the second section. Join yarn on top of the first section. First crochet in rounds counterclockwise for the corresponding number of rounds. Then work back and forth according to a specific pattern. Please watch my demonstration of the specific crocheting method. The crocheting method for the first 9 rounds is similar to the yoke section. Similar to section 2 part 2's crocheting method. Join yarn on the corresponding motifs of the first section. Using 2 types of yarn. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise alternating. Refer to the chart to finish these rounds. Note, when crocheting the 9th round, divide into front half and back half. Front half is front body. Back half is back body. Front half does not require chain stitches. Check the number of stitches as you crochet. Don't make mistakes. After completing the last 2 rounds, don't cut the yarn. Secure the loops with stitch markers. The first 9 rounds are explained. Now crochet the 10th row. Starting from here, work back and forth following a specific pattern, creating a front-back difference with the front body section. Right side of the piece facing up. Insert the hook into the first stitch of the previous round. Draw through the corresponding loops. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise. Then work leftward. Crochet 3 treble crochets in sequence. Since this row is worked on the wrong side of the previous row, stitches appear at the upper left while crocheting. When crocheting on the wrong side of the piece, position the chains from the previous round to the back. Crochet in front of the chains. Make the chains visible on the right side. Pick up the single crochet from the previous round, and work a double crochet. Continue downward following the previous demonstration, and refer to the chart to complete the last double crochet. Pay attention when working treble crochets. Always position the chains from the previous round to the back. Crochet in front of the chains. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Then secure the loops with a stitch marker as well. At this point the 10th row is completed. Next work the 11th row. Turn to the right side and find the beginning chain of the previous row. Turn the work. Draw through the corresponding loop below. Then make a chain stitch to begin. Turn over. Work 2 single crochets in sequence. Continue crocheting a single crochet to the left. When crocheting, pass through both the front stitch and the back chain. Then work 6 chain stitches. Skip 3 stitches. Work a single crochet. And wrap around the back chain. Continue crocheting 4 single crochets. When working the 4th single crochet, also wrap around the front chain. Then work 6 chain stitches. Follow the pattern chart using this method downward. Crochet until before the last single crochet. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Then work a single crochet in the last stitch. Secure the loop. The 11th row is now complete. Next, crochet the 12th row. Let's see. We crochet every 2 rows in one direction. Now turn the work counterclockwise to crochet. Insert the hook into the last single crochet stitch of the previous row. Pull through the corresponding loop from the 10th row. Tidy up the yarn tail. Then make 3 chains to start. As the turning chains for the double crochet, then crochet 2 double crochets to the left. Continue working treble crochets in the 3 stitches of the 10th row on the left side. Work treble crochets. Since we're crocheting on the right side, so move the chains forward. Crochet behind the chains. Continue this process down the row. Refer to the chart to complete this row. Secure the loop when done. Now the 12th row is complete. Let's move on to the 13th row. Insert the hook into the first stitch of the previous row. Pull through the corresponding loop. Then make a beginning chain and work a single crochet. Continue completing this row following the previous demonstration. Now the 13th row is explained. The crocheting method for rows 14 to 16 is similar to rows 10 to 12. Follow the previous demonstration and refer to the chart to complete the remaining 3 rows. Pay attention to cases where you need to carry yarn at the beginning or end. After completing the last 2 rows, break the yarn and weave in ends separately. Now rows 14 to 16 are explained. Next, let's crochet the final row. Place the fabric with the right side facing up. Rotate the piece counterclockwise. At the 10th row, on the last double crochet, pick up the edge of this double crochet to join the yarn. First make a beginning chain, then pick up the edge of this double crochet to work a single crochet. Continue to the left. Pick up the edge of the single crochet to work a single crochet. As you crochet, be mindful to wrap the edge yarn. Continue to pick up the edge of the beginning chain to work 2 single crochets, down to the single crochet row edge to work a single crochet. Pick up the edge of the double crochet row to work 2 single crochets. Keep working this edge until it's complete. Once the edge is done, rotate the piece on the starting chain of the previous row. Work a single crochet. Next, work single crochets into each and every stitch of the previous row. Pay attention when working into the treble crochet in the middle of 3 treble crochets. You need to wrap the front chain into it. Follow this pattern. Refer to the chart to complete the stitches of this row. Now my swatch has reached the corresponding position. Next, rotate the piece. Work 2 single crochets on the double crochet edge. Continue downward following the previous demonstration and refer to the chart. Pick up the corresponding edge to work the corresponding number of single crochets. Complete this edge. After completing, break the yarn. Weave in ends. The last row is done. The second section is now explained. Next, let's learn the third section. Similar to the crocheting method of yoke section 2, there are no new stitches or techniques encountered. Everyone can follow the chart to crochet. The third section is now explained. Section 3 is completed. Now let's proceed with sewing. First, crochet the last round of the top edging of section 1 and the bottom edging of section 2. First, fold section 1 in half. Make sure the front body has 7 complete motif 4s. Each side has half a motif 4. Then, fold section 2 in half. Place any motif 1 at the front center position. The opposite is the back body center position. It's motif 2. Next, roughly align the two motifs vertically. Slight misalignment won't affect the effect. Just ensure even sewing. First, mark the overlapping positions with stitch markers. Then, do the basting. The sewing method has been explained earlier. Just refer to the yoke section sewing and sew accordingly. The placement position for sewing here can be arranged according to my instructions. You can also arrange and sew according to your preference. After completing, sew together the last round of section 3 part 3 and the top last round of section 2. Roughly align the central motif of the front body section 3 with the central motif of section 1. Roughly align them. Once the position is confirmed, sew symmetrically. The sewing explanation is now complete. Next, learn about the sleeves. There are two. Crochet method is identical. Both are divided into section 1 and section 2. Sew together after crocheting each part separately. First, learn section 1. Divide it into the first section and the second section. Now crochet the first section first. Crochet the corresponding number of color 4 motifs and join them together. The first section is complete. After completing, join yarn on the first section, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise for the second part. Crochet method has been explained earlier. No new stitches or methods encountered. Complete section 1 following previous demonstrations. Now learn section 2, divided into 3 parts. The crocheting method for the first 2 parts is similar to section 1. After completing them, crochet the third part below the first part. Complete section 2 following previous demonstrations. Proceed to sewing. Sew the last round of the third part of section 2 to the last round of the second part of section 1. Fold the fabric pieces of section 1 and section 2 in half. Ensure the front and back motifs have the same quantity. Sew symmetrically. Use the same method of basting. Match corresponding parts for sewing. The method has been demonstrated previously. You can complete it on your own. The sleeves are now explained. Proceed to sewing. Sew the body, sleeves, and yoke together. First, sew the yoke to the body. Take out the yoke section. Locate the marked middle motif 2 on the front body. The largest chain space directly below it. The middle double crochet stitch among the 5 double crochets in this space. Is the exact center double crochet stitch of the front body? Refer to the chart from this double crochet stitch. Count the corresponding number of stitches on both sides. Place stitch markers on both sides to mark them. Divide this section into the front body. Continue toward both front and back sides. Refer to the chart. Count the corresponding number of stitches for both sleeves. Mark them with stitch markers as well. Form the armholes. The remaining stitches on the back body are the corresponding position. Next, take out the body section. Here I'll demonstrate using a swatch. The higher side is the back body, the lower side is the front body. Refer to the chart. Leave the corresponding number of stitches on both sides of the front body. Mark with stitch markers. The stitches reserved on both sides here. will need to be sewn to the armhole positions later. Match the middle front body stitches with the marked front body position on the yoke. And pin them together. Complete this part on your own. After finishing, turn to the back body. Refer to the chart and divide the corresponding stitches on the top row of the last row into the back body. Mark them with stitch markers as well. The stitches on both sides will also need to be sewn to the armhole positions later. For sewing, match the corresponding positions of the back body with the corresponding positions of the back yoke and pin them together. Complete this part on your own. At this point, the body and yoke are completely sewn together. Next, sew the yoke to the sleeves. Place the front and back motifs of the sleeves symmetrically. Half on the right side and half on the wrong side. Mark the last round of section 2. With the reserved armhole positions. And pin them together. Complete this part on your own. The sewing explanation is now complete. Up to this point, the entire garment has been fully explained. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.